The primary zodiac sign you probably associate yourself with is your sun sign. But your sun sign is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to your astrological profile. In addition, you have a rising sign, a sign for each planet, and as we're going to talk about today, a moon sign. Before I even get into what exactly a moon sign is and how it's different from a sun sign, I want to either welcome you back to my channel, depending on whether or not you've seen my videos before. If you haven't, I highly suggest you watch this video the whole way through, then check out some of the other video essays I've posted. Whether you want to learn about Christianity, Judaism, Eastern religions, astrology, gemstones, or religious diversity around the world, you're sure to find a type of video to follow me for. Since I have something for everyone, there's no reason not to click that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you can get even more. First, we're going to define moon signs for those who might not know. Simply put, your moon sign is the constellation the moon was aligned with at the time of your birth. With sun signs, this is as simple as knowing which day of the year you were born, since the sun cycle is the same every year. But with your moon sign, it's a little more complicated. Your moon sign depends on the day and year of your birth, since the moon follows a different cycle every year. But even that's not as complicated as a rising sign, which requires that you know the exact time, date, year, and location of your birth. Those are going to get a video all of their own, so make sure to watch out for it. You'll know it's there if you tapped on notifications after subscribing like I told you to. Astrologically, it's been said that your moon sign determines your emotional life, feelings, desires, and all the stuff going on below the surface that might not be apparent even to you. Your moon sign is probably the clearest indicator as to the workings of your inner world. This is fitting, given that the moon illuminates the night sky and guides you in the darkness. Now that that's out of the way, let's start at the beginning of the zodiac with Moon in Aries. With Aries being a fire sign, it's no surprise that those born with the moon in it have a strong desire for independence, freedom, and alone time. They like challenges and new things, but dislike overt expressions of emotions and prefer when everyone is direct and self-sufficient. If you were born with the moon in Aries, you won't like it if your loved ones are emotionally needy. You prefer direct and transparent encounters. Also, there's a sense of spontaneity at a deep gut level, a sense of knowing in your heart whether something is good or bad, whether you like it or don't like it. This means that anyone with the moon in Aries will be quick to express their emotions, but those emotions will burn hot and fast and then change. Again, perfect and fitting for a fire sign. Next up, Moon in Taurus. Those born with the sun in Taurus tend to be very creative, artistic, beautiful, and passionate. Well, for those born with the moon in Taurus, those qualities are reflected in their thoughts and emotions. Moon in Taurus is stubborn like the bull, insistent on going where they want to go and doing what they want to do. Having their physical and emotional needs met is very important to Moon in Taurus. Technically, this is important to everyone, but especially for the people I'm talking about right now. And it heightens their satisfaction even more when the tangible and intangible things that meet these needs bring them some form of pleasure. Moon in Taurus would make a great romantic partner, as they are very romantic people and want the relationship to feel good for both themselves and their partners. Time for the third house, Moon in Gemini. Whereas having the sun in Gemini at the time of your birth gives you a lively and versatile personality, having it as a moon sign gives you dynamic and versatile emotions and desires. Since this sign is said to govern communication, Moon and Gemini individuals tend to have an innate need to know as much as possible about the world around them and may have a talent for numbers, speech, or the written word. They can be restless and have short attention spans, given that Gemini is a mutable sign. They don't do well with the same old stuff and need a frequent change of scenery and new things to try. If Moon and Gemini folks have any strengths at all, which they have plenty, it's that of the entire zodiac, they're the best at multitasking. House number 4, Moon in Cancer. Just like those born with the Sun in Cancer, Moon in Cancer people tend to have a very nurturing and empathetic nature. This makes sense since, as a water sign, Cancer is closely linked to the emotional, psychological, and spiritual dimensions of life. Since Cancer is a cardinal sign, Moon in Cancer people feel a strong sense of responsibility towards others, particularly friends and family. The Moon rules Cancer, so the Moon is in its own sign when a Moon in Cancer person is born. This works in the favor of the Moon in Cancer person by amplifying the lunar qualities of emotion, empathy, and intuition. As the Moon is cyclic in nature, waxing and waning as it orbits the Earth, Moon and Cancer people, too, are likely to be cyclical individuals, patterning their lives on some kind of cycle. Next up, Moon in Leo. The emotional life of a Moon in Leo person is defined by drama, passion, excitement, and creativity. This is quite fitting, given that Leo is a fire sign and is represented by the majestic lion. Not to mention the sign is ruled by the sun. Whereas the cardinal water sign of Cancer and the mutable signs are all about variety and change, the fixed fire sign of Leo is all about constancy and perseverance, and this definitely seeps into the Moon in Leo's emotional processing and thought processes. A Moon in Leo's sense of loyalty and warmth makes them very good friends. One weakness of Moon in Leo people, however, is that it can be hard for them to be around people who don't share their energy and passion and sometimes rely on others' validation for a sense of self-esteem. The best advice for Moon in Leo people is to always make sure they have a creative outlet readily available. Now it's time for Moon in Virgo. As the mutable Earth sign, the best thing about Virgo is its gift for bringing together change and practicality. This quality is enhanced even further for Moon and Virgo individuals, as the fusing of the two aforementioned things is important in the emotional realm with which the Moon sign is associated. Those born with the Moon in Virgo are likely to have an innate need to improve or refine the circumstances around them, combining practical know-how with the analytical quality necessary to achieve the results they want. Another strength of Moon in Virgo people is their inclination to serve and nurture others in any way possible. But this can also be to the detriment of Moon in Virgo individuals, as it makes it easier for others to take advantage of them. Moon in Virgo people are also very humble, willing to work behind the scenes, and happy to do stuff for other people, with the end result of a job well done being reward enough for them. Next in the zodiac is Moon in Libra. Being represented by the scales of justice, Moon in Libra people care deeply about things being fair and equitable. Since Libra is a cardinal sign, those born with the Moon in it have a strong urge to take action on these kinds of things, walking the walk and not just talking the talk. Moon in Libra people crave equality and balance, not just in society, but between the various aspects of their personal lives. Moon in Libra people are really good at seeing both sides of every story, even if they feel strongly about their own. They're really good people to have discussions and debates with about all kinds of things. So then what are Moon and Scorpio people like? Like with the other water signs, those born with the moon in Scorpio tend to feel things either very intensely or not at all. This is especially the case during the childhood and puberty of those born with the moon in Scorpio. The moon is said to be in her fall when in Scorpio, suggesting certain challenges around how lunar qualities are expressed in those born at the time. But as they mature and become more self-aware, they develop a greater sensitivity to the complexity of their needs and those of others. It's very important for those born with the moon in Scorpio that they have a close network of people they can trust who truly understand them and whom they, in turn, truly understand themselves. The Scorpio moon lends a perceptive, powerful, and charismatic quality to the personality. Others may see these people as somewhat mysterious, hard to read, or perhaps just aloof. Just like the sign's namesake, the Scorpion, moon and Scorpio people have a reputation which does not quite match the facts of them. Moon in Sagittarius. Now we're on my moon sign. My sun sign of Capricorn inclines me to stick to what I'm familiar with, but my moon sign of Sagittarius gives me a strong passion for variety and desire to change things up now and then, just as it does for anyone else born with the moon in Sagittarius. Moon in Sagittarius folks love to travel to new places and have a strong desire to learn about the world around them. This sign relates to the search for truth and ultimately pursuit of wisdom. Moon and Sagittarius people often find they have a need to feel that they're always learning or discovering something new. You could say that Moon and Sagittarius people are eternal students or spend much of their time with recreational pursuits from which they can learn something. You can definitely see this in me and how I've made such a wide variety of YouTube videos that I had to split them up into 3 separate channels. Their urge for freedom is very strong and can make a Moon in Sagittarius person feel restless at times. They may decorate their homes in an eclectic way or surround themselves with objects that remind them of places they've been or would like to be. Number 10, Moon in Capricorn. Unfortunately, those born with the moon in Capricorn are known more for their weaknesses than their strengths. But the reality is that they have just as many strengths and weaknesses as many moon signs, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this section. Whereas Sun in Capricorn people tend to engage in materialistic pursuits, Moon in Capricorn people are more likely to merely have materialistic desires. A very common theme in the lives of Moon in Capricorn people is that of expectations. Very high expectations, especially when it comes to responsible and serious matters, which is to the benefit of Moon and Capricorn people. This translates into work ethic and good performance on the job, one of the biggest strengths of Moon and Capricorn people. Alrighty then, Moon in Aquarius. Of all the moon signs, those born with the moon in Aquarius are the most progressive and unique. Aquarius is an air sign and so pertains to ideas, concepts, and communication. For those born with the moon in it, it relates to the social side of life in terms of protocol that guides how we interact with each other. Aquarius is also a fixed sign, which gives it qualities of focus, perseverance, and endurance. When an Aquarius moon individual has a clear idea, they are unlikely to easily change it. Moon in Aquarius is perhaps the least emotional of the zodiac, and consequently, these people are likely to be more comfortable with words and ideas than they are with the more sentimental or passionate dimensions of life. Accordingly, they may prefer to nurture and support others from a distance, offering cool, clear, and objective analysis to those around them, rather than getting deeply involved. However, any other water signs in the birth chart may lend a few emotional intricacies to help in this realm. Then we come full circle to Moon in Pisces. Sensitivity and emphasis on the emotional are key qualities of the sun sign of Pisces, but it's significantly heightened for its lunar counterpart. With the moon in Pisces, you're likely to be a highly impressionable person, strongly influenced by the compassionate, creative, imaginative, romantic, and idealistic aspects of life. On an instinctive level, Moon in Pisces people tend to have a natural affinity for the abstract or intuitive. Depending on the Moon in Pisces person in question, this can either be a strength or a weakness. Moon in Pisces people can sense the hidden or energetic levels of life, soaking up atmospheres like a sponge. Their feelings about people and situations are likely to be immediate, accurate, and intense. This is a good thing as long as they understand that their feelings, while valuable, aren't always what a decision should be based on. What's your moon sign? If you don't already know, you can find out on one of the sources I've listed on your screen. Once you know, tell me in the comments whether you would say the things I said about it are true about you. While you wait for the next installment of A World of Spirituality, check out some other ones by clicking the links on your screen. And to make sure you're in the know about when it's coming, make sure you've clicked subscribe and have the bell switched to all notifications. You're really going to want to do that if this was your first time here and you got a good first impression of my content.